My name is Oluwale Godwin, and welcome back to Microeconomics. In this class, we'll be talking about the income and substitution effects of inferior goods. Actually, we've spoken about this in an earlier video, but thank God to one of our viewers, NM. She was the one that was able to realize a mistake in that video, and I'm making another video again. And this is one of the reasons why it's important for our students to use the comment section of this channel. Whenever you observe something you don't understand, whenever you think there is an error, please make sure that you leave those stuffs in the comment section. You know, we are all learning, no one knows it all, we are all learning, so we are going to appreciate that because it actually makes the channel better. So a very big thank you to MM, who happens to be one of our students. Alright, so income and substitution effect of inferior goods. First, what's an inferior good? An inferior good is a good that a consumer buys more of it when his real income falls, and that the consumer buys less of it when his real income rises. So are there goods like this? I recall usually making use of Gari, for example. Gari is one of the fast food in as far as Nigeria is concerned. So, but the thing about Gari is, instead of other countries have cornflakes, golden morn, and stuff like that. But in Nigeria, ours is Gari. So the thing is that Gari is associated with a poor family, with a poor man. So by the time people's real income starts to rise, they consume less of Gari and then start consuming stuff like cocoa balls, stuff like golden morn, stuff like cornflakes, stuff like other wonderful things that are essentially not Gari. And of course, when the real income starts to fall, let's say due to maybe a rise in price of maybe due to inflation in the country or salary cuts and so on and so forth, you see people falling back to Gari. So another example is slippers, bedroom slippers. A lot of people wear bedroom slippers outside basically. So it's kind of associated with a poor man as well, that you should be having a better footwear compared to bedroom slippers. So by the time people start to have more money, then they start to change their footwears, and then by the time income falls, a lot of people come back to stuff that should have been worn in the bedroom already. Okay. Now that's that about that. So let's talk about the income and substitution effect. So what is income effect? Income effect is just saying that when the income effect is the change in the combination of two goods that a consumer is consuming when the price of that good falls or rises. But let me just say when the real income of the consumer changes. So when the real income of the consumer changes, what happens when the real income of the consumer changes, the purchasing of more or less of the two goods together, is what we refer to as the income effect. And then that takes us to the substitution effect. So substitution effect is telling us, is just saying that our consumer is buying, the combination of the two goods that our consumer is buying is different. But in this case, the consumer buys less of the commodity whose price has risen, and then more of the commodity whose price has fallen. More of the commodity whose price hasn't changed relatively. So now this is what I'm saying. If a consumer is consuming two goods, a 4 euro and semo, for example, and then if the price of semo should rise, let's assume that those are two goods. Okay, we don't know anything about them other than the names I've given them, semo and 4 euro. Okay, if the price of 4 euro should let me say if the price of semo, for example, should increase, now the substitution effect will say that you should buy less of semo and then more of the commodity whose price has not changed at all. And the reason being that the other commodity is now relatively cheaper. Not that the price changed absolutely, nothing happened to the price, but then it's now relatively cheaper compared to buying semo. So the consumer buys more of 4 euro and then less of semo. Alright. So and in the case of income effect, because there's an increase in the price of semo, for example. So what happens is that the real income of the consumer has reduced that way. The purchasing power of the consumer has reduced that way, and because of that, the consumer then buys less of semo and less of semo euro. Okay, so that's the way it goes. And if it were an increase in the price, for example, a reduction in the price of one of the commodities, for example, the income effect would say that right now the purchasing power of this individual has risen. Alright, so the individual can then consume more of semo and 4 euros. So that's the way it goes. if you're wondering what is it that this guy is saying, because you might not be watching from Nigeria, so this is a 4-euro and this is semo. All right, so there are things that Nigerians eat a lot. All right, so now let's now get to business. So income and substitution effects of inferior goods. So it's important for us to start from substitution effects. And let me just draw two goods. And actually, I'll be using my semo and 4-euro again in this particular video. So we have this. This is a semo, okay, and this is a 4-euro, okay, and this is 0. Now the thing is, before any change, so what we want to analyze there is the income effect, income and substitution effects, I and S effects, you know, of a fall in price of semo. Now here semo is the inferior good. Alright, semo is an inferior good in this video. Alright, so that doesn't mean in the real world it's an inferior good. It may change according to people. Alright. Okay, so in this so what we are going to do now is there's an initial equilibrium. There's an initial equilibrium. Let me just have something like this. Okay, and then we have this indifference curve. Is this okay? Okay, income and substitution effect or fall in the price of semo. Okay, no, let me erase this. Okay, because there's something I'm trying to drive at. Okay, so let me have the intersection happening. Let's see here. Okay, this is the first indifference curve. Alright. So the thing is, the initial combination of semo and 4-euro is here at this point. So you have this is S1, then let me just call this E1. So this is point A. Okay, now the substitution effect of this is saying that okay, there is a fall in the price of semo, right? Now, if there's a fall in the price of an inferior good, you basically consume you basically consume more of it. Alright, consume more of it and then less of the other good whose price has not changed. So in this case, 4-euro is a normal good and semo is the inferior good. So we are going to consume be consuming more of semo. Alright, so we consume more of semo, and then of course you know that the slope of an indifference curve is the slope of a project line is minus P1 over P2. Okay, so in this particular case, the price of one of the commodity has changed, so we expect the slope, the entire fraction, you know, to change. The value of the entire fraction is going to change. So in this video, okay, let me see, semo might be longer than this. Semo might be long. Let me just put it here, for example. Okay, so now we are going to be consuming more of semo. So the semo is on this axis, so we consume more of semo. Okay, so let's just leave it here. So this is S2, this is more of semo, and you know, this is less of the 4-euro. Okay, and this is more of semo. So what we are going to do now is I'm just going to draw another curve. Okay, let me just make it. Let me use another marker. So there's going to be another curve here, the new budget line. Okay, that will just be tangential to this point. Okay. Alright, please don't mind. Okay, don't mind my diagram. Okay. So let me reduce this. This is where the intersection is ready. Okay, so this is our S2. Now the whole of this is the substitution effect. The whole of this is substitution effect. Alright, so we are done. So here this is B1. This is the second budget line, B2. Now this is a point B. Okay, so the substitution effect is saying that we should consume more of commodity, more of semo, and then less of a 4-euro. Okay, now the income effect. The income effect is now saying, you know, the a fall in the price of semo simply means that the purchasing power of this consumer has increased, and because of that, the consumer will be able to buy more of the two goods. Now the error that was made in the previous video was to have compared the new equilibrium to point A. So now what is going to happen is that this consumer has actually left point A. So right now the consumer is on point B. Alright, So we are going to stop our analysis of all the changes in the stuffs here. So now, so the consumer is currently here, all right, and then Semoro is an inferior good, and there is an increase in there's a reduction in the price of it, and then there is an increase in the real income of the consumer. Now, because it's an inferior good, the consumer buys less of Semo and then more of the other commodity. All right. So starting from point B now, so we are going to trace here. There is less of Semo and then there is more of Eforio. Okay. So here, so that means we'll be having a point that is okay. This is it. All right. Point B. So to have more of so we kind of have, this is more, okay, more of what do you call it? So this is less. So at this point we have less of Semo, and then okay, wait, before I do that, the income effect, for the income effect, what's going to happen is that we'll draw a line. There'll be a line that the line is going to be parallel to this, because essentially, for income, so for income, to depict income effect, so if this were the initial combination, all right, and there is an increase in the real income of the consumer, there's going to be a shift of the shift of the budget line as well as a new indifference curve, and vice versa. All right. So in this particular case, we are going to be having something similar to that. So the thing is that because what we are considering now is point B, so we are now using the new budget line. So we are going to draw a budget line, like a third budget line, to reflect this income effect. That is what is happening here. We are going to draw a third budget line, and that is going to be parallel to the line that is here. Okay, so we have this. Well, that was why I tried to elongate, this particular one. So this new line is parallel to this line. So apologies for my diagram. Now on this new line, we have to now locate a reduction in. We have to locate a reduction in Semo and then an increase in. So we have that point here. Okay, so we have here. This is showing an increase in Eforio, which is E3, an increase in Eforio. Okay, so let me just, this is going up. Alright, so we have and then we have a reduction in this person. So there's a reduction here. Okay, so and so this is S3, this is S3, and then that is E3. So this is point C now. Okay, wait, before I put this, I have to so there's going to be a new the new indifference curve has to be tangential at that point. So we have something like this. Nope, this is still wrong. Now sometimes this stuff could be annoying to draw. Let's just leave it this way. Let's just model it this way. Let's add. Okay, so here this is where it is tangential, although it's not perfectly right, but let's just assume this is where it is tangential to this point. So this is point C. Now on point C, so we can see that starting from point B, so we have more of this, more of Eforio, which is more. All right. Of course, this point is bigger than this point for Eforio, so we have more of it, and then we have less of Semo. Okay, so if Semo was here initially, and then we are falling back to this point, so that is less. So the thing that is happening here is that we are falling, we are going back, which is this. Going back. Okay, so here the income effect is negative, and then the substitution effect is positive. Okay, so what is still dominating here is the substitution effect. Actually, the substitution effect is bigger. It's from here to here. It's bigger than the income effect. So in this for this inferior good, the substitution effect dominates the income effect, and then the consumer buys. So what was the conclusion of the substitution effect? It says that the consumer should buy more of Semo and then less of Eforio. Okay, because that was the initial substitution effect. More of Semo and less of Eforio. So that's going to be the conclusion from everything that we've done here. Okay, so with that, we are done with the income and substitution effect of inferior goods. Now there is a scenario where the income effect might be greater than the substitution effect. Now that scenario is wherever you have that, so it simply means that the good in question is a giffen good. Okay, whether it's giffen or giffen, I don't know. Giffen. So it's when the income effect is, so for a given good, the income effect is going to be stronger than the substitution effect. So it is whatever the income effect then says that will find out conclusion of what we are doing. So here the so recall, let me state something that I didn't state initially. From moving from point A to B was just a change in the combination of the two goods, whereas the consumer was maintaining the same level of utility, and that's simply because the consumer is on the same indifference curve. But by the time we started to analyze the income effect, you can see that we are moving to a higher indifference curve. So on this higher indifference curve, the level of utility has increased, has changed, regardless of the fact that the consumption of semo has actually fallen. Now, the total effect of this, you can see that they are working negatively. Substitution effect is saying buy more of this commodity, and then income effect is saying buy less of this commodity whose price has reduced. And because of that, the total effect, is going to be positive, simply because substitution effect is bigger, okay, which is a plus, and income effect is smaller than substitution effect, which is a minus. So it's just like saying you're having a plus 50 and a minus 5. So at the end of the day, that's still going to be a plus 45. And for the income and for the normal good that is on this axis now, you can see that there are also opposite effects. Okay, because the substitution effect said you should buy less of this from this to this, and then the income effect is saying that we should buy, moving from point B going upwards. The income effect is saying that we should buy more of a 4 euro. Alright, substitution effect says buy less of a 4 euro, and income effect is saying buy more of a 4 euro. Alright, so it is negative. So what eventually happens here, I can't really say, but at least we know what is happening in this place. Alright, so that's about the video. In the next video, we'll be talking about the income and substitution effect of normal goods. That was what we should have done first, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so in that video, we'll be talking about the two goods being normal goods, and then analyze the influence of a change in price on the commodities, on the demand of the commodity. So on demand for the commodity. So that's about that. If you like this video, please click on the like button, subscribe to this channel if you are a new viewer, and share this video with as many friends as possible. And please leave, if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section, maybe an observation, a commendation, or whatever it is. Ensure that you share this video with as many people as possible on your social media platforms, WhatsApp groups, Facebook, and so on and so forth. See you in the next video. Thank you very much for attending.